Hey guys, and welcome back to the Game Not Game podcast. My name is Green, and with me, as always, is my co-host Zen. However, not as always, is special guest Zer0doxy, who was on a couple months ago or something.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
okay. How are you doing?
Pretty great. Pretty great. So Zen, you've got some important Japan news for us.
I do, as we often do on this podcast. I bring you news of a new kind of tent, as in the kind of tent that you bring camping. This is innovation in tent technology from Japan, and it's being marketed, well, as a Sextant, although I don't really know about this. We will talk about that in a second. The H tent, H is used in Japan as a shorthand for sexy, right? Because it's the first letter of the word hentai. Right, and it's called H because it's in the shape of an H. The way this works is that it is for people who are kind of maybe wanting to be modern friends, but not quite yet ready yet. And so
Yeah.
it's a giant pink inflatable H. One person is in each leg of the H per se, and there's the center part of the H you can hold hands or look at each other through that part of the H, so that you don't actually have to be cuddling up to each other. You can just look at each other in a tent from a distance.
Yeah. So one clarification I want to make, it's not inflatable, it's just a fucking tent.
Oh, okay.
That would be crazy if this was like a bounce house or something. But it's just, it looks like the most complicated tent in the world. You've got two like kayak-sized segments, and then they're connected by a little thing in the middle. It's really weird.
It's really strange.
It looks like they're like, they've got a picture of the tent when it's in its like bright pink little like duffel bag that it comes in. This tent is huge for the tiny amount of space you get inside it.
Yeah.
It's got so many fucking parts that's got to go into this because it's such a complex shape.
Yeah. Yep, I don't understand this tent at all. It's you can get it for $175, so it's not really a cheap thing for the privilege, I guess, of being able to not really be that close to your tent mate, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, I love the idea that it's marketed as a sex tent when in fact it's the exact opposite.
It really is.
This is a tent that makes it more difficult to have sex on purpose. That's the whole marketing thing.
And that, or if you decide that you do want to share one side of it, you're going to be real snuggled up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh god, what is that?
It seems like a good privacy tent, more than, like, building a romance tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's totally a purpose for this. It's the exact opposite of
What they're marketing, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It got a lot of attention, certainly, because of, well, the H part.
Yeah. God, I love the picture of the two dudes, like, drinking Japanese beer and, like, you know, clinking their cans together. Like, we're totally not gay, dude, as they're sitting in this fucking hot pink H. Like, I don't know, man.
The H is for how hetero they are.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Not my style. I wouldn't. I'm not a very like private person. Like, I just don't mind sharing a tent with anybody. It doesn't bother me.
I'm not gonna lie.
So
like, I wouldn't hate having that tent at like a music festival or something where you're going to be like changing clothes and staying for a long time and like needing some space to yourself. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having it. I certainly would not pay $135 for it.
Yeah.
Sharing it with a friend, you're saying?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Like, every time I've shared a tent with a friend, it's been like, okay, I need to change in the tent now, so you get out of the tent.
Yeah.
Like, it's very unusual to need privacy when both people need to be in the tent at the same time. Also, you can still fucking see them through the little tunnel in the middle.
Oh, there's no, like, zipper part in the middle to, like...
Maybe there is. There probably is. I don't know. It's not in any of the pictures.
Because what if they decide that they're not a proper love match?
Right. Then you can just spend the rest of the camping trip just fucking completely separated from each other.
It looks like there totally is some zippers here when I look at this when I
think
look at
that's
these pictures.
to go to the outside, but I could be wrong.
There's
I
also
hope
a
there
flap
is something
of
in the middle, 'cause that would
fabric.
make more sense.
No, there isn't. There isn't.
I really don't think there is.
The flap
that
of fabric
would be a smart
is
feature.
Yeah, yeah. They just need
also
to
the problem
completely
is,
reverse the marketing on this, 100%.
the fact is, you've got so much fucking fabric for so little space that if you are trying to like separately change in your little things, you've got like, 3.5 feet of lateral space. Changing in this tent anywhere, even if you have the whole thing to yourself, is going to be an enormous disaster.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fucking hard.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And the whole point of this tent is that you don't get hard.
Well, I mean, if you do, it will be just a little bit more frustrating, I think.
Yo, but what if it's
anyway.
an eye?
So I should say also, and I'm going to share this out as well, this company also makes a axe tent. So they don't also make an H tent, they make an axe tent. And this is
Is every tent they make a pun? They've got the sextant and the accent.
Yep.
Come on, dude.
I love this X tent. I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's like
So it's like it's the same exact shit but with 4 separate compartments.
yeah, and you guys all meet in the middle and you can play like board games or drinking beer or something.
See, I like this one
Yeah.
better. I like this one way better.
It makes more sense anyway.
Yeah.
It seems more efficient with the equipment that you need to set it up because you aren't like erecting a fucking tunnel between the two things. You just have a central area.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know if they make a lot of gimmick tents for sure. They make also a tent just for one person, right? So it's basically one of those branches and that's it.
Is it a lowercase L
Right.
tent? Is that what it is?
I don't
my
know.
God.
I don't know. Maybe imagine if they tried to make a tent for every letter of the alphabet. Like I want to see what a Q tent looks like.
Oh man. That's like it's like an adventure that kids go on. You go in through the little tail of the queue and then you just crawl in a circle and it's fun times.
And then you just, crawl in a
I don't know,
circle
you remember-
indefinitely.
You guys remember being a kid, right? And like crawling around and shit and just thinking
Fuck
it's
yeah.
awesome?
Blanket
Yeah.
forts.
That's exactly what
For
that is.
sure.
Yeah.
That reminds me, actually. I don't know why this reminds me of that, but there was a trend a couple of years ago, or maybe more than that, in which there's this thing called rebirthing therapy, in which you're trying to recreate the feeling of being born.
Yep. I think we talked about that in a head-to-head episode.
Did
I
we?
have for sure heard of birthing. There's a Law and Order SVU about birthing therapies going wrong and killing people.
Yeah, that
Oh
actually
shit,
happened.
that actually happened.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway,
Was life
go on.
imitating art or was art imitating life in that
Hey,
episode?
it's Law and Order. They're very quick at imitating life.
Yeah, I'm sure that the actual incident came first.
Yep. So unfortunately, this person did die after being suffocated, and the Colorado governor banned it. So
Yeah, it was
Right.
fucked up shit too, right? Like they were like it was like a 9-year-old who was like
Correct,
too
yeah.
uppity and stuff. So they like shoved her into a thing where she was suffocating, and then they were like not letting her out because they were like, no, you need this to stop being an asshole.
You have to be pregnant for 9 months.
No, it was the opposite. Like she was supposed to be.
She has to be
fetus.
the pregnancy for 9 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 9 months though.
I'm sure it was not 9 months.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, there are all kinds of weird things like therapies. That's what the tent reminded me of, actually, when we started talking about like just smaller and smaller tents,
There you go.
I don't know why I thought of that.
The size of a womb.
Eventually, what is a womb but a tent for an unborn baby? Yes.
Man, that's deep.
Yeah.
Camping out in mom.
Camping out
Yeah.
in mom.
It protects you from the harsh wilderness of real life, of Earth.
Yeah, somebody's going to make a tent like that, and then maybe unfortunate things will happen as well. Not in the shape of a
Imagine
womb.
an iced tea branded T-shaped tent.
An iced tea branded T-shaped tent.
All the zippers are gold.
That's a blowjob tent, is what that is.
It's got like his face on it.
The whole pattern is just or like the whole tent is just a pattern of his face in a grid. Like just his face over and over and over again.
Did you see me tweeting out that one romper that had Kim Jong-un's face printed on it?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't think so. A romper? What is that?
Rompers are not good. Can we? Oh, jeez. Rompers are not good.
What's wrong with rompers? I don't even know what's one. Anyway.
Okay, so a romper is a one-piece outfit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I can see that now.
It's it's usually shorts. Shorts.
Yeah, the t-shirt, but like combined.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're not cute.
It's like a onesie, but with short sleeves and leggings.
Yeah, typically. Like, there are long-sleeved ones, there are long pants ones.
It's like,
but
it's
all
a
of them
direct
force
cross.
you to get completely naked to go pee.
What?
All of them.
You can't have a pee flap in them like you do with a
not
onesie?
for the ladies.
Wait.
What? No, that's the whole point. You get the butt flap going, and then you just like.
Well, that's not typically how they're made. Like, I've never seen one like that, and they're like hugely in fashion right now.
Are they?
And they're not. Yeah, they're super duper not cute for anyone past the age of 8, in my humble opinion.
I don't think I've ever seen one of these ever.
They are hugely in fashion right now.
Maybe in Iowa they are.
They're hugely in fashion in Hollywood right now.
Really? What? Who wears them?
Yeah. Just people, like everyone, like
dogs,
girls trying to be cute, like.
No.
And then also now they're starting to market them towards men too. They're so huge with the music festival crowd. And now I've talked about music festivals twice on this podcast, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And we're only like 15 minutes in.
I'm looking for romper news just to make sure, just to see what you're talking about. It says American police are wearing rompers now, it says. That sounds like something out of Reno 911, to be real honest with you.
Well, hopefully it
sounds
kills
like something,
the trend.
It sounds like something a male stripper would wear. Just a fucking police romper.
Oh God!
Stop! You're under arrest.
Yeah, it's definitely a college-aged fashion trend, 100%.
I live
I'm
near
not in a college town, so like,
yeah,
I probably just hasn't made it up here.
I'm going. I'm going to go. Maybe I should go and see if I can spot any college students in the wild wearing rompers.
I guarantee, Green 9090, we will see rompers at TwitchCon.
TwitchCon?
Like,
I can't wait.
Are you serious?
I don't notice that.
I will every single time. I'll be like, romper. We'll have a romper drinking game. It'll be fun. We'll carry around a flask.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll just carry flasks and fucking every time we see a romper, and then we just stumble home from TwitchCon. Like, man, there's a lot of rompers.
Man,
time for bed.
I know, like a few years ago.
Then we get back and Rocket Lobster's wearing a romper, and we're just like, no. Sorry, go ahead.
A few years ago, jorts were a thing at these kinds of conventions, like jean shorts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to the point
amongst the Never Nudes.
God, the Never.
Sorry, that's an Arrested Development reference.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. I heard that was a thing, but I haven't been to a convention in so long now. I really should go. I can't go, damn it.
Yeah, I haven't been to a convention since, I think I went to Comic-Con in 2012, and that was the last one I made it to.
Did you see anything interesting at Comic-Con?
That was 5 years ago, dude. I saw they were, that was right when that Star Wars MMO was going free to play.
Oh, yeah.
And what is that Star Wars, it's not Knights of the Old Republic, but whatever the fuck it was, like SWTOR or something. The Old Republic.
The Old Republic, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was right when that was happening, and they had a huge fucking booth with like giant plastic Star Wars shit, and they had computers set up where you could go and like try out this free to play MMO. It was so shitty as a paid MMO that it had to go free to play. And I had an ambition of going there and like filming a a play session with it, but I just didn't have time. Like, it was like I would have had to wait in line for like an hour to play a shitty MMO that was free to play, so I could just play it on my own computer. So I didn't.
Yeah. For sure. Like, you gotta budget your time at conventions.
Totally.
100%.
However, 5 years later, that was the most memorable thing, was not doing that. So maybe I made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I go to a convention, I tend to see something really interesting. So maybe the Comic-Con that year was just wasn't hopping enough.
You know what, though? I really do want to get this Kim Jong-un romper and wear it to TwitchCon.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'll be right back 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
You know what, though? Actually. Kappa rompers. Twitch.tv should sell Kappa rompers.
They really should. Oh
They
my
should.
god. Especially if it was just like this one. If you guys haven't seen this yet, man, I need to help me remember to put this shit in the description. Leave a comment if I haven't done it. Kim Jong-un romper. You have to see it to believe it. It's not what you're expecting.
Yeah.
It's this horrible flesh-colored romper, which, as we've established, is a cross between a leotard and a onesie, like the perfect in between the two. And it's like a button-down thing, and it's just got like your abdomen is just Kim Jong-un's giant nose, and then like right above each, like right around your nipples, there's like big
Like from your
eyes.
armpit to your nipple. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like right above your crotch, just his grimacing mouth. Oh man, it is a thing and a half. You gotta see it.
Yeah.
You gotta see it.
Doxy,
Anyway, I want to wear one of those to TwitchCon.
yeah, Doxy, when you were gone, we were just talking about how we could put, like, Twitch should put Kappa face on one of these rompers.
Oh my god, I might actually wear one of those. I might actually do it.
Yeah, that would be badass.
I hate
really
rompers. I super hate rompers. I
God,
think that they
they
are
could
so ugly.
They could all do all the different Kappas too. There could be the normal, just like black and white one. There could be a Kappa HD romper. There could be a Kappa Pride romper. A Kipo romper. Oh man.
Yeah, somebody contact the Twitch merch division ASAP.
Oh my god. If this actually takes off, right, and everyone starts wearing meme rompers, essentially, I think conventions will become really unbearable for me.
That's the collapse.
You don't have to
That's
worry
the
about
collapse
that,
of
though.
American democracy right there.
You super don't have to worry about that, though, because conventions are where the cosplay is king. So...
Sure.
Yeah.
Then again, I did see a bunch of Utilikilts. We had a Utilikilt count, and I tried to get video and pictures of all of them so that I could make a video about Utilikilts, and then I felt really guilty, so I didn't do it.
Hold up. Whenever I go to a role-playing convention, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, I do see people in kilts. But what is a Utilikilt?
A Utilikilt is basically if cargo pants and a kilt had a baby.
What?
So they're like
It's a
typically
kilt with a bunch of pockets and shit on it.
Yeah, like khaki in color typically, or like that like army green or black,
It's a
like an earth
tactical
tone.
kilt.
And then
It's a
they
man kilt.
have like pouches and like Green said. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
But if you put too much stuff in those pouches, wouldn't the kilt wouldn't it just be really heavy?
I mean,
Like any other pants, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, probably.
I don't know, like, what's the difference between that and cargo pants,
That's true.
Except for
It's
your
just-
balls get a little bit of air.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about kilts as being kind of like, not weighed down by anything. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I mean, I think whenever
it's gotta flow freely in the breeze.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think I'm thinking of kilts as too much like skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, kilts are actually pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Man, so my near where I live, there's a yearly brew fest, and last year I volunteered. It's a really cool thing. There's like 5 different brew clubs and a bunch of professional breweries come, and you just go in for $30 and drink a ton of beer. But I volunteered at it last year, and the guy in charge of distributing ice and water to the breweries was just this enormous, 6'8", buff, muscly dude with a mohawk and a kilt.
That's it?
And he was great, and he was covered in tattoos.
So he was just wearing a kilt. That's it.
Yeah, just this. Oh, no. He had like a muscle shirt on too. Sorry.
Okay, I was going to say.
No, it was too sunny. I'm sure he would have gone shirtless if it wasn't like super sunny outside, but he would have gotten burned to hell. Just this blonde, blue-eyed fucking Ubermensch just wearing a kilt and fight. He was the nicest dude, but he looked so intimidating and crazy.
Yep.
He looked like it wouldn't have been out of place at all if he was carrying like a mace or a battle axe or something. He had that kind of look.
I've been at conventions like that. Well, not really. I mean, they have those role-playing conventions have weaponry enactments, all of them.
Oh yeah, the LARPing.
Yeah, the LARPing. That's true. Yeah.
Lightning bolt.
God, I'm sure it's.
I'm not gonna lie. I
anymore.
could get down on some LARPing. I would do it.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Fuck yeah, I would do it.
I probably would enjoy it.
I think I would really love it.
I've seen YouTube videos of like the worst possible examples of LARPing, and I love those because they're hilarious.
Yeah, I live for cringe. That shit is right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually?
Just a dude in a fucking like hat with stars on it, just throwing papers at people, and be like, "Lightning bolt, lightning bolt."
I can't actually
Dark
watch
Souls
those.
LARPing would be fun.
Dark Souls LARPing.
Fuck yeah, I think it would be super fun. But you'd have to actually be like good at like fencing and shit.
No, you just have to do the exact attack animations of your weapon in Dark Souls, and that's all you're allowed to do. Otherwise, the judges will take you out.
I cannot watch those cringe videos without cringing too much and shutting off the video.
Oh man, I love it. I love cringe.
I just feel so bad.
I
can't
live
get
for
enough.
it.
I've never shut off a cringe video in my life.
Me either. Have you run the gauntlet? Green 9090?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me look this up here. Cringe gauntlet.
Cringe gauntlet.
I
Oops,
really
I accidentally
want this to
typed
be.
Kringle gauntlet.
I really want this to be just people, like really nerdy people playing Gauntlet on the NES and commentating on it.
If you get far enough, you get to see Ann Coulter stick her big stupid foot in her big stupid mouth. It's pretty great.
Nice.
That happens like once a week, right?
This time it's so much worse.
Alright, I haven't seen that. I'll tuck that link away for later.
Yeah, it's real good.
If anybody following along at home wants to check it out, it's runthegauntlet.org/cringe.
It's a good time.
I
if you
can't
live
endorse
for
it. I've
cringe.
never done it, but Doxy says it's good.
I love it.
Alrighty. What do you want to talk about next?
Good question. Have you guys heard about this new Detroit game about androids?
I saw that at E3.
Yeah, so it had an E3 thing. I think it's been at 2 E3s now. It's been in development. It actually looks kind of cool in a lot of ways. It's about a world in which androids are becoming sentient and trying to like fight for their rights and like, you know, stop androids from being killed and stuff and just being repressed. Basically, the androids are like a slave class and they're doing stuff about it. However, David Cage is the creative director. He did Heavy Rain, and he has kind of a reputation of being a little heavy-handed and weird with his narratives. And people have been wondering, like, what direction is this game going to go? And I'm going to read you 2 direct quotes from David Cage from different interviews. So here's the first one. "The story I'm telling is really about androids. They're discovering emotions and wanting to be free. If people want to see parallels with this or that, that's fine with me, but my story is about androids who want to be free." Then the next one is, "People will see it as, oh, this is about androids and the revolution. And honestly, I don't think this is the story I wrote," Cage says. "I think it's really a game about us. Humans. It's about what it means to be human. It's about identity. It's about civil rights." So, like, what?
He had to cover the bases for when people are just like, well, this is a really racist representation of the struggles of black people. Like, he had to get sound bites out there to future-proof when people accused him of being prejudiced.
Sure.
Like, 100%, that's what I see in those quotes.
But also, the 2 quotes are directly contradicting each other.
Super
like,
hypocritical,
directly contradicting each other.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, like, so it makes you wonder, like, wait a minute, what actually is this game going to be about then? Because either he doesn't know or he doesn't want to tell us. It seems like he's trying to shape perception of his game based on the audience. Like he's like, oh, this person wants to hear this, so I'm going to say this. Oh, this person wants to hear the opposite, so I'll say that. So who knows what the actual game is?
Do you know who was interviewing him for each of the quotes?
I do not actually. It's from a fucking tweet. Oh, sorry. One is from Kotaku and one is from The Verge. I'm not sure which is which. I think the first one was Kotaku and the other was The Verge, but I couldn't say for sure. I should have dug into that more. My bad.
It's fine. But like, I think that you hit the nail on the head that he was shaping changing the narrative, I guess, for the audience.
You're a gamer gator? This is just a nice tale about robots, has nothing to do with human beings. Oh, you're an SJW? This is a game about minorities. Like, okay, David Cage.
It's a choose your own adventure in real life. He's acting out his own games.
It's true. It actually is like E3 said, the E3 presentation said, and I take all this shit with an enormous grain of salt because of all the times E3 presentations have been completely off base. But this one claimed that there's a lot of possibility space in this game.
Yeah.
So that could be neat if it happens. I don't know. I'm like,
what does that mean? That's like the vaguest term I've ever heard. Possibility.
Sorry,
space?
That's not what the actual E3 said. It's like it's a narrative-driven game, but there's a ton of different ways you can approach problems. In that it's not like The Walking Dead by Telltale, where it's like you can do a bunch of different stuff, but it ends up the exact same fucking way at the end of Act 4. You know, this game claimed to really branch a lot.
I hope that's the case because Heavy Rain did not do that. I mean, it did branch to a certain degree, but. I don't want to spoil anything, but certain things will always happen, and the reason I don't have a lot of faith in David Cage is because of Heavy Rain. The story was not good.
I've heard bad things. I've never played Heavy Rain. The most experience I have with Heavy Rain, and this is awesome, and you should look this up, is somebody on YouTube did a certain mission while intentionally failing every single QuickTime event. And it's David Cage like chasing a guy through a grocery store, and he's or did I say David Cage?
You say David Cage.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I meant the main character of Heavy Rain, but that would be awesome if it actually was David Cage. It was David Cage's self-insert, his OC in Heavy Rain, just fucking running through this grocery store trying to catch a guy, and he keeps on like. You know, the guy, like, knocks over a bunch of melons and you're supposed to, like, QuickTime event to get around him and stuff. But instead, it's just a fucking yakety sax. Like, this guy is repeatedly, like, falling, hitting his head on shit, stumbling, like, falling backwards and, like, you know, you're supposed to, like, mash a button to catch up to him and you don't. So you're just like, and, like, waving his arms around. It's the best. It's the best thing ever. And then it doesn't fucking matter at all. Like, you still just finished the chase. You could just, like, take your hands off the controller and watch this hilarious fucking, like, Three Stooges segment and then continue the story. It's really good.
I'm kind of secretly hoping now that Detroit will end up being, like, there's so much possibility in the game that you could totally change it into a comedy. I don't think that will happen, but I'm kind of secretly hoping for that to happen now.
It would be hype.
That would be pretty good.
Yep.
That's the future of gaming.
Yeah. Yep, the future of gaming. David Cage. I did like Fahrenheit though. I don't know if Fahrenheit was meant to be intentionally funny, but it's hilarious.
I don't know it.
I'm not even familiar with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called... I forgot what it's called. It's called Fahrenheit in Europe, I want to say. I don't know. But it's called something else.
Is it like Indigo Prophecy
yes,
or some
Indigo
shit?
Prophecy.
Okay,
yeah, that game was funny. But I don't know if it's intentional or not.
Yeah, I know literally nothing about that except that people make fun of it a lot.
Yeah, watch a playthrough of it.
Nothing about it at all.
Yeah, watch a playthrough of it. I mean, I know Jesse Cox had a playthrough of that, so that might be a good place to start. Alright, so that's David Cage. Let's see. We also wanted to talk about Steam, right?
Yeah, so Steam, particularly the Steam Knuckles controller, is a cool new technology they've made to interface with VR that actually seems really fucking cool. So like you hold this, it looks like a fucking like space age like Mass Effect gun almost. Like
Really?
you hold a thing, and then there's like a big finger guard or something. Like, you know how on a rapier there will be like a hand guard thing around
Sure.
your hand? It looks like that. But it's got sensors in it to see what all of your fingers are doing. All 5 of your fingers are doing. So you can and it like, I don't know, it like straps onto your hand or something so that you have full finger movement ability. So you can use this to like physically move your fingers in VR. And I haven't, they have obviously some demonstrations of it that are, who knows how accurate that is to life, but it's at the very least a really cool idea, because I wouldn't have imagined this was possible without like, strapping shit to every finger individually. But this is like, it knows what all of your knuckles are doing.
Okay.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, I'm looking at diagrams.
I feel like that'll be really good for like shooting games, like shooters.
Yeah.
Basically.
It looks
to
like
me, I think it's going to be better for like first person puzzle games, like because you can physically just reach out and grab an object and like examine it. And
I mean, you could do that already.
Not
with
this,
just
though.
squeeze buttons.
Yeah, I'll preface this by saying I haven't actually played with VR at all, so I don't know what it is and is not capable of at this moment.
So right now, the Vive comes with these 2 controllers that have, they have like a circular pad that goes under your thumb, and then there's 2 buttons where you like hold on to it, like for your fingers to grab it. Like it's, I don't know how to explain it. If you look up the shape of it, it'll show you where all the buttons are. But for the sake of ease right now, there's 2 like trigger style buttons, and then there's the circle-y pad, and you can press in the circle-y pad. So when you're playing a game in the Vive right now, if you want to like grab and pick up an item, you just have to be in the vicinity of it, and then you squeeze one of the trigger buttons in order to grab. So it's pretty like that seems to be pretty well taken care of for right now, because it like, I mean, it's still fully immersive. Like that is not immersion breaking at all, that I'm not like actually grabbing an object,
Sure.
So I don't see how the fingers would help in that situation, other than just like, I guess aesthetically in the game it will look nicer. But I feel like it's going to be really great for like if you're going to be like shooting and you have like different like buttons on your weapons and stuff, like in Call of Duty, how in you can have like a grenade launcher attachment on like a shotgun or whatever, so you just like do different things with your fingers and you'll be using the grenade launcher as opposed to. But then again, that seems like it's pretty well wrapped up in the Vive controller too, because there are more than one buttons that you use your trigger finger for. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that
it's
shit
neat
seems...
and it has potential. I just don't know what.
That shit seems sewn up even by a normal controller to me. Like, yeah, you just push a different button to use your rocket launcher. Like, this is more, I feel, for like immersive first person experiences, where it's like you can see your hands, but if your hand is just like a fucking static object, then that's, it's not as good as it could be. But if your hands in the game actually react dynamically to what your fingers are doing in real life, I feel like that's gonna be neat, just aesthetically, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there are totally, there are puzzles you could do with that too, that like where you have to like use a finger to push a button or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it does look really futuristic. Like it looks like you said, something that came out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, I want to give VR another couple years before I sink hundreds of dollars into it. But because already like we're seeing big leaps and bounds, but I'm really excited for when it's like it feels truly consumer ready.
Yeah. So Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. But for right now, I'm just going to pass on that. I haven't seen any games really in VR that I'm interested in.
Yeah, they're all like, they seem like neat curiosities. There's not like a killer app yet. There's not a VR game where it's like, oh, you need to have a VR game to experience this game, or a VR headset. And I think there's a good reason for that, is because not enough people have VR headsets yet to make that a profitable game venture. So it's kind of a feedback loop.
Well, maybe the first one will come out of Japan when the first actually good dating simulator comes out for VR.
Yeah, or real teledildonic machines. Teledildonics
right, so
being sorry, go ahead.
There's a couple games that I think are super cool for VR. Give me 1 second. Okay, so what is great about VR is that it takes games that wouldn't normally be that fun if you were sitting at your computer and playing them, and makes them super immersive and super fun. So there's this game called Raw Data, where I hate that, Raw Data. It's called Raw Data, and it's like you fight robots in it. You can fight them with like a katana or a pistol or a machine gun, and you can deflect bullets with your sword, and that is super fun. That is super heckin' fun. And then there's this one called Vanishing Realms, which is a lot like Raw Data, where except for it being sci-fi, it's fantasy. So you're like doing spells and stuff, and you use your hands to do it. So like it feels super immersive and super cool. So I just disagree a little bit with what you said, but not that much. It's gonna definitely get better in the future. But I will bring my Vive to TwitchCon and my computer so that you can play on it and see what you think.
That sounds super fun. Yeah, like all of it sounds super neat. Like, I don't mean to say there's no good games for VR. What I mean to say is there's no experience where it's like, this is completely unlike anything I could do on my computer. I need to spend $600 right now. You know, it's like, it's not quite to that point for me yet.
But I feel like Raw Data.
You can pronounce it data. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like it like that, though. I don't like it like that.
Well, stop saying it.
And then I should do that. And then Vanishing Realms. Like, I feel like those games are like that because it's a brand new experience. It is an absolutely brand new experience.
It sounds super fun. I'm super into it. But yeah, I don't. It doesn't sound like, $600 fun to me yet.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be more games before, and it's $900.
Oh no.
I guess it depends on the thing you're getting, and that's the other thing. I'm imagining this technology is going to rapidly improve and get cheaper. Like, I'm imagining if I wait 5 years, I can probably get a decent headset for $500 instead of $900. It's going to be better than the current gen. And that's another reason I'm hesitant to adopt this early, just because I don't have that much money to throw around for something that will become obsolete soon-ish.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, though. This is the future of gaming that I've been imagining since I was a kid.
Yeah, same, 100% same. I remember the first time I ever played a virtual reality game. I was on vacation in Branson, Missouri with my dad and stepmom, and they had this it was like a multi-directional treadmill that you could walk around on, and there were joysticks in front of you, and they put this it was a fucking helmet. I'm just gonna say it. It was a fucking helmet. It was not a headset. It was a helmet. And you could wander around and shoot at stuff, but it was like wire frames of men. Yep. You know what I mean? It was, and you were like walking around on a grid. Like, it was so bare bones. It was so minimal. And I remember being like, oh my God. Well, I know that my Super Nintendo looks better than my regular Nintendo, so obviously this is going to look better soon. Like, yeah. And I've been dreaming about it ever since. Yeah. I'm so excited for the direction that VR is headed.
I never actually played one of those, but I remember reading about them and being like, that sounds neat as hell, and I want to try it.
Yeah, it cost $20 for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, totally.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't even know where it would have been near me. Like, I never saw one in real life. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for VR to be better than it is, even though it already seems pretty good. And these, I think, like this knuckle controller is an example of like how infantile this technology is, because we're still thinking of like revolutionary shit like that, and that's happening regularly.
Yeah.
So like what this is going to look like in 5 years is really exciting.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of Steam, do you have any recommendations from the Steam sale?
I do. I happened to mention to you earlier that I wrote down a bunch of my favorite deals in Steam. So I'll just rattle through these quickly. Steam Summer Sale is going on. It's going to be for like, I don't know, like, what is it usually, like a week or so. And some of the games that I know are good and are at a really crazy steal right now. Shadow of Mordor, only $4. It's a very fucking good AAA game that I super enjoyed.
Super worth $4. Holy
100%,
holy moly.
100% worth $4. Stardew Valley, $9. Very, very good game. You're gonna get shitloads of hours out of that. It's very if that's the kind of game that sucks you in, fucking you're gonna get your $9 multiple times over. Civ 6 and XCOM 2 together are bundled together for $41. That's like $20 each. Those are both very good strategy games. So if you're a strategy fan and you don't have either of them yet, that's pretty crazy. Doom is something I'm still looking at. I might buy it in this Steam sale. It's $15, the new Doom. I've heard it's very, very good. I haven't played it yet. But that's by far the lowest it's been so far. It's been on sale for $20 a few times, but now it's all the way down to 15. And you on Amazon, I learned from a friend on Twitter, Big Red NY, I think, told me that you can get the Steam controller right now during the sale on Amazon with free shipping for $35, and that's a steal as well. Steam controller is a very solid piece of hardware. I enjoyed it a lot. It's not great as like a replacement. If you want like an Xbox controller, the Steam controller is not quite the same thing, but it's a really good way to use a mouse from your couch. Like, it's pretty much the best way to do that, and it's really, really good for strategy games like Darkest Dungeon or Civ or anything like that. It's an extremely good piece of hardware, and $35 is really good for a full-featured controller. And at our Game of the Week, Darkest Dungeon is on sale for $10 as well, which is a steal in my opinion. I really like that game.
Yeah, so the Game of the Week for next week, there's to say.
Yes, yeah, no, it is our upcoming Game of the Week, Darkest Dungeon. So yeah. if you wanna follow along with us, $10 on $10 on the Steam sale right now, which is it's usually like $25. So that's a pretty killer deal.
Yeah, that's a super good game too.
Love Darkest Dungeon.
So
that's my recommendations. Do you guys find anything in this Steam sale that seemed good to you?
Anything, Doxy?
I have not looked yet.
That's okay. It's I mean, for a few hours this morning, the Steam was completely hammered, so I actually didn't look for a while either.
Yeah, I was trying to get my fucking trading cards by going through my discovery queue, and it kept on like being like, oh, you're too high traffic, and then I realized that every time that was happening, it reset the number of games I had to look through. So I couldn't actually get my trading cards, so I had to come back later and to actually like get through the queue and get my cards. I don't know why I do that. I never sell them, but I have a ton of cards saved up.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go through the cards that I have and sell them too. Rocket Lobster says that the Steam sale will last for 2 weeks, ends July 5th, and is recommending Transistor from Supergiant Games, and that's $3.
That's a killer deal as well. That's usually like a $15 game. So yeah, $3 for Transistor is really good. I started that game a long time ago. I never finished it. Maybe a future Game of the Week. Who knows?
Possibly. I did not play it, but I don't have any impressions on it. But from what I understand, it's a good game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
All right, so for me, just off the top of my head, Fallout New Vegas, if you haven't played it before, it's $2.50 for the base game. Huh. Yeah, so that's pretty worthwhile. Yeah, that's a huge deal.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. That's most people's favorite Fallout.
It is. It's mine too.
Yeah, it's most people's.
I'm looking here. Hitman. The complete first season is 66% off at $24, and then Civ 5 complete is $12. So that's all the DLC.
Okay.
And that's
yeah, and Civ 5 like base game is something like $3 or $4 too, right?
I think so. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, it's very, very cheap. So if you like Civ and you don't want to spring for the $41 bundle, Civ 5 is a good. I've actually heard a lot of people say they don't like Civ 6 as much. So
I feel like that happens every Civ. Like,
and then they release a bunch of DLC and it makes it better.
Yeah, and a bunch of DLC, a bunch of patches. Like, I remember when Civ 5 came out, a lot of people hated it and said that they would rather go back to Civ 4, etc.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, but Civ 5 is a great game. Civ 4 is also a great game. I don't know how much it's going for at the moment, but you can't really go wrong with either of those. Although of course Civ 5 it's more beautiful and more polished.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, I don't really have a lot of games to recommend, or I should say more to the point, I haven't really sat down to look at the list yet, except for the things on my wish list, which I've decided not to buy most of them. Because that happens to me every Steam sale in which I look at stuff and I'm like, yeah, you know what, maybe it'll be cheaper later on.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have very much money right now, so it's a rough Steam sale season.
Yeah, same.
It's like,
I'm broke.
you know, $15 for Doom. I don't know. I have 400 fucking games already. I'll play some of those. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's there's a little bit of fatigue at this point for me, in terms of for me, I just don't have time. I want to play more Elder Scrolls Legends. I actually really like it a lot, but I can't.
Yeah,
I just
super
can't.
Good game. Speaking of Elder Scrolls Legends, are we done with all the rest of our topics? I think we are.
Pretty much. We can save. We had a lot of topics this week, but we can always save them for a week in which we don't.
Sure.
Any more Steam sales deals that any of you have?
Yeah, I haven't really looked at it. I saw what was in my wish list. I'll tell you what I have. Let me find the email super quick. So Narcosis, which I don't even remember, is $13.39. Slain is $5.19, which it came out to not great reviews, but then it had I don't remember if it had DLC or just like a content patch or what. But
we actually covered
people
that.
like it a lot more.
We covered that patch on the podcast. It was like they dug into the guts of the game and basically remade it. It was horrible when it came out, and it's pretty
that's
decent
what
now.
I hear.
Yep.
And then that's on sale for $5.19, usually $13, and so I know that I can recommend that because I thought that it was pretty cool in the beta, which ran the same as it did when it was released, and I thought it was pretty okay. I liked it. And then there's Rick and Morty Virtual Rickality is on my wish list. It is usually $30. Right now it is $24. And then Kindergarten, which is a super fucked up game. Usually $5, and right now it's $4. So that's what I know about the Steam sale right now.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I don't have that much. There's a lot of stuff here in which, it's just like big games, like Dying Light, which I probably will play whenever they decide to discount it for less than $10 maybe. I don't know when that will ever happen. One game I will always recommend every single time it goes on sale is One Way Heroics. That is the the roguelike that's mixed with a JRPG. That's a really, really good game. I think the original is better, but the remake is going for 99 cents at the moment. So if you want to check out the remake, you can for a very, very cheap price. So it's called Mystery Chronicle One Way Heroics, 99 cents, 90% off. Pretty crazy sale there. Alright, Elder Scrolls Legends. I played a bunch of it solo. I got to the end of Act 2, and I know that the two of you played it against each other just today, right? What do you guys think of it?
I love it. How about you, Doxy?
Yeah, it's super good. It's super fucking good.
So Elder Scrolls Legends
I would recommend... Okay, you talk.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Elder Scrolls Legends is a Hearthstone-like, essentially. It's kind of like a Magic light collectible card game that is on the internet. It's got a couple of changes that distinguish it from Hearthstone. One of which is the fact that in every battle there's two different lanes, and monsters from opposite lanes can't attack each other or block each other. Like a taunted creature, a guard creature in one lane won't block attacks from the other lane. So it gives you kind of more avenues of attack against your opponent. And one of the lanes is a shadowy lane where you gain stealth, where a creature can't be attacked for a turn. And the other unique mechanic is that you get 5 runes, and every time you lose 5 HP, you use up one of your runes and draw a card. And so when you're getting bursted down by really quick damage, like against an aggro deck, you're going to draw a ton of cards and gain a huge card advantage against them, which kind of incentivizes playing maybe a little bit more defensively, doing a little bit more trading creatures, which is really good because Hearthstone had a super aggro meta for a long time until they sorted that out. So that's Elder Scrolls Legends.
Yeah, I had to compare it with Shadowverse because Shadowverse was the only Hearthstone-like game which I played, which, for those of you who don't know what it is basically Hearthstone with waifus, lots of huge anime influences from Japan. And I can tell you something, I like the look and feel of Elder Scrolls Legends a lot better. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like Shadowverse, I mean, it looked fine, especially if you liked anime, right? But everything in Elder Scrolls Legends in terms of presentation is so much more unified in terms of how the cards feel when you play them, the music, the artwork, which is gorgeous. And I think that's basically the standard where a collectible card game, a digital one, has to be nowadays. I know Hearthstone did that really well as well, but Elder Scrolls is more along the less cartoony side and more what you would expect from an Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of UI and how it feels to play, Elder Scrolls Legends is pretty much on an even playing field with Hearthstone, which is incredibly impressive because Hearthstone is the best feeling collectible card game I've ever played on a computer. And yeah, Elder Scrolls Online just as good. Elder Scrolls Online, Elder Scrolls Legends just as good as Hearthstone in terms of presentation and all of that. Very impressive work.
Yeah.
And there's like a campaign mode in case you have no friends. So
yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, the campaign's actually I really enjoyed it. It introduces a lot of really interesting mechanics, and you gain decks over time. It seems like eventually, after you level up enough, you're going to be able to make a deck with any combination of colors that you want, just like Magic, which is really cool. Like there are the colors in this game are the like base stats from an Elder Scrolls game, like wisdom and agility and strength and endurance and stuff like that, and each
shit like that.
Yeah, and I haven't played enough to really like succinctly explain what each one does, but it's very similar to in Magic, where you have like white is like Healy magic and stuff, and green is big creatures and ramp, and red is nuke damage. It's stuff like that. So every deck has 2 of those colors, so you can, instead of in Hearthstone where you only get 1 color card to put in your deck, and your neutral cards, in this game you choose 2 and put them together. Though I haven't gotten to the point, I've had to unlock all of my decks so far, so I haven't gotten every color combination yet. I'm not sure how that works eventually, but I assume eventually you'll be able to like freeform create decks after you've like leveled up enough, and that
there's a spot for it in the menu, so
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That will be really cool. When you're able to just combine 2 sets of cards and make a creative synergy to build toward, as you would in Hearthstone or Magic or something. I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of possibility space in this game in terms of the mechanics you can do. Like I've already seen, there's mill decks possible, like in Magic, where you you make your opponent draw all their cards and then they lose. There's like graveyard decks where you can resurrect monsters that have died or get bonuses based on what's in your graveyard. There's, the more standard, like, there are death rattle decks where when your creatures die, they do good stuff. There's all these mechanics you would expect to see in Magic or Hearthstone or are represented, though I haven't, because I'm so new to the game, I don't really have the cards to create them. But it's exciting to me to see the breadth of decks that one could make in this game.
Yeah. How did your match? So Doxy and Green, you guys played against each other. How did that go?
So he's like way more leveled than I am. He played all the way through the campaign. I only played the tutorial. Yeah. So it was very much an uphill battle for me. I didn't win any of the games, and I also just don't have the deck sense yet that he does. Mm-hmm. So I definitely recommend going through the campaign before you fight anybody real, so that you can know that your cards are at least a little bit leveled up first. Because that's one of the things that I was going to say that I really like about this game is that your cards level up. Like, that is so cool to me. I think that's really neat. I don't remember anything like that in Hearthstone or Magic. No. So I feel like it's worth mentioning that you can level up your cards.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, actually. There are a lot of cards that are... So it'll give you a card that's, like, straight up shitty. Like, imagine you just have, like, a 4-mana 4/2. And then after you level up enough, you'll be able to level that card up, and then you get a choice between, like, oh, now it's a 4-mana 7/2, or now it's a 4/2 with stealth and lethal or something. I don't remember. I don't think that's a real example, but it was something similar to that. I remember one of them. So you get to choose what kind of cards you want to get, and kind of tailor your card collection toward your playstyle. However, it does mean that if you haven't leveled up very much, a lot of your cards are just going to straight up suck, because a 4/2 for 4 is not a good card, and there's no reason to ever play it. And it totally, like, when you're new and still going through the tutorial, it totally packs your decks full of just, like, total trash garbage cards that you have to identify, oh, that's not very good, and take it out. Or else you're just going to get a huge advantage.
Another thing that this game does that I feel like, especially not Magic, and then also Hearthstone, do is they really future-proof it for pay-to-wins. Like, or not future-proof it, but, like, I don't see that being a thing right now. Pay-to-win.
Really? You don't think if you don't think if you just dropped $150 on card packs right now, you'd have an advantage?
I definitely do think that I'd have an advantage, but I don't think that it would be enough that, like, because most of those cards that you're going to get are going to be shitty level 1 cards, and then
most cards don't level up. There's only a few, and they're all, like, from the campaign. The cards you get out of packs, I haven't experienced any cards out of packs being levelable.
Okay. Well,
it's more just, it seems like a completely early game focused mechanic to me. It's just like, you kind of, an exciting thing for you to do as you play your early matches, is my impression of it.
I did like that a lot of the choices, like in terms of rewards in the early story, is framed in kind of like a narrative sense. Like, for example, you meet this person, this is not a real example, but do you punch him in the face or do you make friends with him? And then you get a different card or reward based on the choice that you made.
Yeah, totally. Man, those turned me into an asshole, because I
thought that was super cool too.
I felt like all of the asshole results almost gave me.
They always had better cards.
Yeah,
and I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I ended up with shittier cards.
Oh no, man! I could easily bring myself to do it. I was like, nope, this guy's fucking dead. Give me that good card.
There's one example that I remember very well. It was this elf stuck in a spider web, right?
Yeah.
And the choice was either his shitty card or in-game currency, right? But
I actually liked that card. I saved that guy.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I liked that card, so I saved that guy.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I was wrong about that. But to me, at the time I was thinking, I didn't realize maybe it was a good card. I was looking at it. Okay, well, I don't like this card, but I can leave him to die in the giant spider web and get in-game currency, which I want. And I ended up taking the card. So I'm happy about that, that you told me that you like the card, because now I'll take a second look at it.
I don't remember what it was anymore, but I do remember I took the card. But yeah, also, I'm a total noob at this game. All of my knowledge about card value and stuff is from Hearthstone. So I could be totally wrong about what is and is not good. I don't know the meta in this game at all, which is kind of fun. I love sussing that stuff out and like being inventive with my decks before I get to the point. Because in Hearthstone, I got to the point where it was a very rigid meta. I was good enough that every fucking person I played against was doing one of the same 5 net decks, and if you didn't play a deck that was one of those 5, then they would just stomp on all over you.
Yeah, I hope that in the future that there will be a card game that really is able to get around that. Although it seems to me that will be kind of tough.
It seems unlikely, yeah. Because it's not even a case of like no other decks are viable. It's just a case of you get into a competitive environment where it's like these decks all like interact with each other and counter each other. So if you make like a deck that has a really specific niche that's meant to like counter one of those decks, the other 4 are probably going to all kill you, because the idea of the meta is you have really decks that are very flexible that can deal with a lot of different situations. And so if you make your really specific deck, then most of those decks are already going to have answers for that, and that's why they're meta, is because they're so good at dealing with unexpected situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It would be interesting though.
Yeah, and hopefully somebody does that at some point. I would love it if that was the case with this game, but again, I have like 3 hours in this game. I don't know what the meta is at all. I played last night. I played some random matches against just random players at my skill level, and I fucking stomped. I won like 4 out of 6 games.
Nice.
That was exciting. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I could see myself getting fucking into this game. Oh man, one thing I did want to mention though, I found out that there's an Android port of it, and I was really excited about that because I loved playing Hearthstone on my phone when I was into that game. So I downloaded it. It's trash. The Android port is awful.
How did you get it? Because for me, I was checking today because I wanted on my tablet, and it said pre-register. It didn't say that I could download it yet. It still says pre-register for me.
It's only for very specific devices. However, it works on basically all devices. So you have to just get the APK from somewhere else. That's what I did, and then install it, and it installs fine and works. However, the Android app is horrible for the very simple reason that to examine a card, like you can't just hold down on a card to look at it and see what the card text is. You have to like go up into the card history at the top left and find when they played it to read the card. You can't just like click on the card as it is on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good,
which is horrible. You can't even look at your own card. So it's like fucking I don't remember what all 5 of these fucking cards do. So you have to like scroll through and waste all your turn. Guess. It's horrible. Yeah, it's really not good. So that's one thing that they really desperately need to take from Hearthstone. But until then, it's a great PC game. It's not one that I'm ever going to play on my phone until they substantially update the...
that sucks. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. But hopefully, because it does seem to be in like early beta for Android or something. Yeah. It doesn't seem like they think they're done. So hopefully they don't think they're done, because they're not. It's real bad.
Yeah, it's tough now because there's so much competition out there. I mean, I feel like this game stands a chance in the marketplace in terms of digital card games, but I'm hoping for it to succeed and for them to be able to iterate on the game more, because it would be a real shame if they couldn't and then they ended up having to shut it down one day.
Yeah.
This game's going to be huge, I think, because it has the actual chops to stand up to Hearthstone, and it has a really strong IP behind it.
Okay, yeah, I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah, it's like, it's very comparable to like World of Warcraft to Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls to Elder Scrolls Legends. Like there's
100%, yeah.
It totally. I don't know if it's gonna like take the market share away from Hearthstone, but I think it's gonna get its own following because it's totally worthwhile. It's a good ass game, really strong, really smart design. Everything about the design that I've seen so far has been like, oh, that's genius, and I know why they did it, and it's to make the meta not like Hearthstone's. Good call. Because Hearthstone is totally, like, errors really hard on the side of aggro, just because of the way the game is designed, and this game saw that and really consciously thought, like, what can we do to not allow that to happen? and they the rune
The
system.
2-lane
totally
thing on
for
its
that.
own.
Yeah.
And the rune system, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 lanes and the runes are both really, really smart decision to mix up the gameplay and make more decks viable.
All right.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yep, I really liked it too. It's sad I couldn't play with you guys. It's just it was so busy yesterday.
Yeah, it happens. If you ever want to play, I am totally down.
Is there more than a 2v2 for...
No.
Not that I noticed.
I wish it would.
That would
But
be
then
cool.
again, they would have to rethink a bunch of the cards and stuff too.
Yeah, the problem with that, like with like a Hearthstone style, like what do you call it, 2-headed giant mode or something, like in Magic, that all kind of makes sense because of the way Magic's mechanics work. But in this game, it would be. I don't think the cards would work well. The card text isn't written for more than 2 players, and the kind of the basic...
And the lanes
yeah,
and stuff
the lanes
would be really
weird. I
Yeah.
don't think it would work, unfortunately. I would like it, though.
That is too bad.
Yeah,
Me too.
I do enjoy some 4-player Magic the Gathering games.
All right. Any final thoughts on Elder Scrolls Legends?
Play it. It's free.
Yeah, I was just gonna say play it.
It's
Yeah.
a free game.
Like, decide for yourself. I'm kind of a sucker for TCGs though, so
Yep.
Me too, but only really, really good ones. Like, the only ones that have ever really grabbed me are Hearthstone, Magic, and now Elder Scrolls Legends. And that's pretty austere company for Elder Scrolls Legends. So if you're like me and you like Magic and you like Hearthstone, this is 100% worth a look. It's very, very good.
Yep, I totally agree with that. Nothing else to add. It is a really good game.
Well,
All right. Next week, we are going to be discussing for our game of the week, Darkest Dungeon, and more specifically its DLC, The Crimson Court. So do look forward to that.
yep. Yeah, so as
Have
we
you guys been
discussed
playing
earlier,
it?
I have. It's very good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I will.
But as I mentioned earlier, Darkest Dungeon on sale for the duration of the Steam sale for $10, which is a steal for a really good turn-based kind of management game. Like, management game meets turn-based combat game with some really unique mechanics that we'll talk about more next week. And the DLC is also $10. So if you wanna make out with both the base game and the DLC, it's gonna run you about $20. And I would say it's worth it. It's super fun and good. So check that out, and we'll see you guys next week.
yeah, the base game alone is definitely worth $20.
Oh yeah,
In my opinion.
totally.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for joining us, Doxy.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
It was super fun. So
Yeah.
make sure to go and follow Doxy. She streams on twitch.tv/Zer0doxy.
That's me.
Yep.
I'm that guy.
Yeah. So you should go over there and check her out. She does good streams, and I guest on her streams all the time. So if you like me,
Yeah, constantly.
you should go hang out there. And as always, make sure you check out Zen's channel. Next week he'll have the game of the week VOD, the podcast VOD on his channel, youtube.com/Zen and Cyrene. So make sure to make your way over there as always. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye guys.